We are back with part 2 of our worst NXT call-ups. And where we last left off, we ended with Ty Dillinger, the perfect 10, and we're moving to numbers 30 through 21. So, number 30, Brodus Clay. Now, the man really didn't do much in NXT, but there was something there. There was always something there. So when he got called up to the main roster, we were getting these vignettes of a dominant monster, someone that you should ultimately be afraid of. Instead, we got the dancing dinosaur with Naomi and Cameron. It was, to say the least, a really big swerve, and I don't fault them for that. But when you get saddled with a gimmick like that, ultimately your career is going nowhere. How about numbers 29 and 28? Steve Cutler and Wesley Blake. Now, these dudes were a very solid tag team in NXT, so we were expecting a very solid tag team on the main roster, and yet we got absolutely nothing with them. They did nothing. They were saddled with nothing. They got fired, then they came back and they had to shave their faces, and then they were released again as they were made to be like Baron Corbin's knights or backups, and that ultimately did not work. And it's crazy to think now, you look at Steve Cutler, who's now Steve Macklin in TNA, and the sky has been nothing but the limit for him. Number 27, Cameron. Now, Cameron is the same woman who said that her favorite match was, I can't remember, but it was not a good match. You don't yuck someone's yums, but you can clearly see she was not in this business for the love of wrestling. She just wanted to get famous. So when she was called up to the main roster after doing really nothing in NXT, she got saddled with being a backup dancer across from Naomi, and we know Naomi. But Cameron pretty much did nothing. She was never good in the ring. She was never good on the mic, and she has a much higher opinion of herself than what it should be, but still failed. They failed her. They couldn't really do anything with her on the main roster. Number 26, No Way Jose. Now, I forget what his original name was in NXT, but once he became No One Jose, I said, okay, here we go. This is a solid mid-card guy who the fans can get behind, who has a good gimmick, who can get the party going. He should very much do well on the main roster. And then he got called up on the main roster. Same gimmick, nothing changed, and nothing happened. No Way Jose, I don't put the blame on him for how he was failed. I put the blame on the WWE. You could not figure out not only what to do with him, but what to do with Adam Rose. These gimmicks maybe just don't work. No Way Jose had so much potential, and ultimately the WWE couldn't figure out how to utilize that potential. Number 25, Alex Riley. Now, Alex Riley came at a time when NXT was the game show. He was part of the second season, I believe. And here's the thing. He was expected to win the game show. He was expected to lead a new faction like the Nexus called the Genesis. But he didn't win. Loki won. So Loki had to cut that promo at the end of NXT. But Alex Riley ultimately ended up on the main roster, and first he started working with The Miz, and this was good. Miz is a strong, steady hand. Alex Riley could learn from one of the best, and it started out well, and then something happened with him and John Cena behind the scenes, and after that, it was over for Alex Riley. It just, career was done, and we don't really know what happened, but time and again, when you ask Alex Riley, it's something that happened with John Cena, and I'm always curious as to what happened, because this guy had the potential. He had the look, he had the mic skills. They were really banking on him to be a star. Number 24, Eva Marie, one of the true people that gets true X-Pac heat. Eva Marie was just not good. Yes, incredibly beautiful, but other than that, she sucked. She absolutely sucked. She sucked in the ring, she sucked on the mic, and she just didn't have it. But yet the WWE really wanted her to be a star. They were always pushing her, and nothing came about. She was hired and then called up to the main roster, and then nothing happened, and then she was released and she's hired again, and she had this gimmick where she kept teasing her matches and the match never happened, and then she had like a wardrobe malfunction gimmick which was absolutely stupid, and then she came back one more time and was saddled with Piper Niven, much to the dismissal of Piper Niven, because Piper Niven deserved much more than being Eva Marie's heavy. Nothing happened, and we're better off without having Eva Marie in professional wrestling. Number 23, Bobby Roode, the glorious one, the former TNA World Champion, the former TNA Tag Team Champion. This guy had it, and he was super over in NXT. The glorious gimmick, former champion, main eventing shows, and then he got called up to the main roster, and he was nothing more than a U.S. champion. How do you build someone up who has the pedigree of Bobby Roode and just absolutely fail him on the main roster? You failed Bobby Roode. And his career really didn't amount to much. Yes, he had a nice little tag team reign with Dolph Ziggler, but Bobby Roode should have been world champion on the main roster. Number 22, Xia Li. Y'all know I am a fan of Xia Li. Big fan. And yes, she had her struggles in NXT, but you could tell she was a good, strong hand, good look, good moves, good finish. Yes, once we got out of the mystical gimmick, she got called into the main roster and pretty much has done nothing. We thought something was going to happen when she was helping Damage Control, and nothing ever came about that. They can still literally put her with Damage Control right now, and that would be more than she has ever done. They have failed Xia Li, and she's now just collecting a paycheck. At number 21, Odyssey Jones, called up in last year's draft. He has not made a single appearance on the main roster. He has not made an appearance on NXT. He won the breakout tournament. This dude had everything. Looks, mic, presence, all of it. And he has not shown up on the main roster. What is going on? I don't know. Y'all should explain it to me, because I thought this man could be in the role that Bronson Reed is in right now. He could be in the role that Ivar is in, and nothing has happened with this guy. Where is Odyssey Jones? But that's part 2 of our list. Come back next week for parts 3 and 4. We are getting to the top 20. This should be good.